What's up, Internet? I'll be right with you. I'm in the middle of eating. Plus, we've already done 7,900 trades in a row for profitability, and one of them is still working. So, FI long, my friends, you were about to cross over. Hopefully, we get it. And if you guys have been as patient as you should be, we're looking for the extra 3 points on this trade. But it's been a grind. But sticking with the program, gap down stocks on earnings, little faux show bro. We've made money on this 3 or 4 times. Just waiting to see if we can get the full Monty up to that 78. And then we'll talk about the other trades. And Rambus Long also is still on. And if anybody was a little upset about the aftermarket action, I hope you heard the last part of the story. If Rambus gaps down and breaks VWAP, load up. And now that's almost a 20-point trade. And now we're only 6 points away from going back to all-time highs on Rambus. So if you are in the sound of my voice right now, take a moment. If you haven't come to a schmooze, tomorrow night's going to be the biggest one of the year. Tech earnings, Halloween DJ, Grateful Dead show. There'll be grain alcohol, fire dancing, as well as snail racing and shuffleboard on the Lido deck. So don't miss it. Of course, it's pay one price, all you could drink. So, of course, the best trade of the day was the one I didn't trade. It was GNRC, the monster. Might be the monster of the week, in fact. And that is a triple faux show bro, 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal. And more importantly, FI just broke the half. Finally. Come on now. If you're still in this trade with us. So anyway, the idea here, right, and one of these red lines, the red lines are where the stock was breaking down from earlier. The only ones that matter now, and I'll clean this chart up for you. Actually, I don't have to clean it up for you. See where the stock tagged before is kind of where we're looking for it to go. So the top of this candle and the bottom of that last spot, we're looking for that 75. But that's only the beginning. If we can get over the 75 and over Macho Grande, never get over Macho Grande. We get over there, we got this little shelf to contend with. If we can get over that, that's $76.20. I think if we get 76.20, we can revert back to the orange line, which is 78. And that's all we're all sitting here waiting for it to happen. But most of us are long from either the original faux show, the second one, the third one, or just this little break on the range. So now, as we instruct you to do, when stocks get to prices from when something happened once before, you're supposed to sell some. Sold to you right there, $74.93. You sell a couple of shares because you have to. That's the law. And if you sell a little bit on the way up, then if it rolls over and dies, at least you've made some money on the trade. So sold to you right there. Now we're looking for the next level. So now we raise the stop. And for anybody that's trading VWAP, you know where 75, usually we're looking at a pivot point somewhere in the middle. So that's the low point of the range, which is like the 73.60 area, and 72.83. So even if you have 3 shares left, put 1 there, 2 here. Doesn't matter. Just keep practicing. No matter how many shares you have, it's always the same trade. You got 3,000 shares, great. You've sold 500 right here. You raised your stop to, 800 here, 700 here. You just always adjust your stop, right? So now that we got through 75, some people will sell 75. We just did, right? So now you're looking for that next level, 76.28. Rolls over and dies. You sell what you got left, but no denying what's happening here. We've made the money. We've booked a big part of it, looking for more. So hope for the best, prepare for the worst, just like every other trade. And if you're trading these VWAP breaks on earnings reports, the best part is you're usually getting a really damn good entry where at least you're going to make something. When I say these trades work every single time, they work every single time. But sometimes you have to sell, like LRN, right? This one worked, past tense. Faux show bro, right? There it is. Oh, well, sorry. Trying to eat and chart at the same time. So, you got the faux show. You got the VWAP break. You had your reason to buy it at 84 and change, and it did go to 86 and change for a day's pay. But then it rolled over, broke VWAP, and if you had some left, you got stopped out. And it was a great stop. And just like a long trade, or let's say a short trade like yesterday on PayPal and Sophie, both became longs. Why not take your long trade and address it as a short if it's telling you so? For instance, like TER, right? Incredible short, capitulation, turned into a faux show bro, and then it turned into a rollover, double roll into a faux show bro. So if you stalk the trade, and again, why we're looking at these names, earnings stocks move more than any stock. They also have more volume, so they obey the VWAP even better. And that's why we stick with earnings names. And now I'm going to eat oatmeal. By the way, you see what just happened to FI? That's why you sell on the way up. Raise stops, can't lose. So anybody in here delusional to think we're actually going to have a sell the news event today? They're going to lower interest rates or raise interest rates? I hope they raise them. What I really hoping happened was that he raises interest rates by 5% in an unprecedented, crazy move. Opens his chest with he has a Superman tattoo on his chest, and he throws the mic at the nearest camera, breaks it, and sets the whole room on fire and quits. Now that would be a Fed meeting. You think? Oh, I hope you're right. I hope they raise interest rates. There is zero reason to be cutting interest rates. Because they need to cut interest rates so you get the interest in the home loans. No, home loans aren't tied to the Fed funds rate. Sorry. So you're wrong about that again, Mr. I know everything about everything. We need higher interest rates so people that don't have money in the market could actually make money on their hard-earned savings in the savings accounts and CDs. Raise them. Yeah, that's my oatmeal. Speaking of raising interest rates, right? Remember when they started to raise interest rates and people thought, oh my God, this market's going to crash if we raise interest rates too quickly because people will have an alternative. And they, again, that was when we call in the market TINA. Remember, there is no alternative. It made a lot of sense. The market was going up every day because there was no alternative. You had zero interest rates. So the idea was if they raise interest rates, it's going to crush the market. And no. Yeah, you're talking about 45% of the country right there. Savings and CDs are for suckers? Come on, man. Don't you feel bad for your less unfortunate friends who don't have enough money to buy the Qs every day? Right. So basically, over the last 5 or 6 years, we've learned that economists know nothing. Macroeconomics doesn't affect the market. Nothing affects the market. It's disconnected from reality. But in fact, it's so tied to reality that it's not even a question. The reason the market's going up every day is that we just entered into a new bull market and a new industrial revolution. It's really not a debate, right? Just because, again, as a bear, I know every mantra there is. Can't keep going up like this. Sure it can. Oh, we got to come down. No, we don't. Well, we just rallied 58% off the lows without a retracement. Sure, we've retraced about 13 or 14 different times. We're having rolling corrections. And each time we roll, those become new generational lows. So people that are still looking for this market to crash or correct because it's gone up too much, that's not a reason for it to go down. Oh, it's overbought. That doesn't mean anything anymore either because overboughtness over time dissipates. And then, so let's say you're overbought right this second and the market sits around for 3 or 4 days. 3 or 4 days from now, you're no longer overbought because time cures that. So that's why we consolidate and go higher. And now we're no longer overbought. Plus, there's no way to value something if everybody wants to own it. And everybody wants in. Same reason Bitcoin's going to 5 million. No doubt about it. 5 million on Bitcoin, and they'll inevitably put an end to 99% of coins out there. Hopefully mine stays good. By the way, you guys ready to buy my coin? I think I might release for Christmas so we can make it like a Christmas present for everybody. I'm going to get some more information on the 6th of November, and then we might launch. Maybe we launch after Black Friday and get it really going during Christmas, so then people can give my coin away as presents. Well, that's a CD. CD and broker rates. Yeah, you're getting 3.8%. Well, Bitcoin is it's definitely not a hedge. I would never call it digital gold. It's just the QQQ on steroids. That's all it is. It's just a tech stock now that everybody didn't buy, that everybody wants to own now. But what needs to happen is they have to get rid of this. They have to get rid of all these, scam coins. A little bit more regulation, but I think that's what people like it, right? There's no regulation. Before we go any further, by the way, if you've been listening to my program for the last however many years, the market hit all-time highs today. So we can go ahead and say the market never goes down. Also, if you've been playing the QQQ swing trade after this, last attempt for the market to sell off on some fake tariff news. I mean, seriously, China tariff news actually made the market go down. That's not why it went down. It just hit a couple of circuit breakers and they let it go back to prior low. That's all it did. So now those are new generational lows. So now that we came out of that reaction candle, the high print there is new generational lows. And now, if you've been just following along with multiple time frame VWAP, the swing trade on the Qs, basically, as long as it doesn't break prior day VWAP, you stay long, and you don't even flirt. I mean, it's hard to believe we haven't even flirted with a prior day VWAP in like 4 or 5 days. We're so not going down. These little fart pullbacks are insignificant. If we break the orange line, we got the anomaly print right there. Not that I ever want to short the Qs ever again, but I might. But right now, this day is all going to come down to UVXY, right? UVXY has already gone red. What's that tell you? The market's not going down. So UVXY, sometimes it stays green right before a quote-unquote big event. Today's a big event. Usually UVXY is slightly green, can't even stay green today. That's how much the market doesn't want to go down. But if by some chance UVXY is over 1050, and my God, if it's over $11 by some reason today, you better be shorting something. But chances are that's not going to happen, right? So to be a consistent trader is you prepare for both sides. You have to assume we're going higher today, right? Because the market never goes down, right? That's the assumption. So then you try to factor in what will change that assumption, UVXY and prior day VWAP break. So let's talk about Rambus, right? Hope you guys absolutely kicked ass on this trot on the stock. I mean, I cannot believe that it went under $90. But then again, I can, because it did go under $90. So here is your 20-day chart so you can see the aftermarket trading, right? Broke those recent lows. That's the earnings. And then you see the fake out shakeout. Here is 90 days on an hourly, really get a reason now. So in the aftermarket, it hit 88.88. The 90-day VWAP was telling us if it breaks any lower, you're going to probably go looking at 87.50 and possibly even 83, but it didn't break. So if you heard part of, we're talking about this morning, depending on what part of the story you heard, and however long you know me for, some of us, you might be still long from Rambus from the 30s when I first brought it to your attention coming out of the Andy Dufresne, or from 50 or from 80. But let's say you only heard part of the story. Hey, I love this stock. I think it's going all-time highs. I'm buying options going into the earnings report. And you said, oh, cool, that sounds like a good idea. But you didn't hear the part of the story where nobody should be buying stocks going into earnings reports. And the last thing you want to be doing is buying options going into an earnings report, because that's officially the worst trade by far you could ever put on. By far. There is not other than shorting the Qs for over any extended period of time, there is no worse trade that you could do than buying an option right before an earnings report. Because first of all, you're guessing. Second of all, you don't know how the stock's going to react. But most importantly, you're overpaying for an option. So even if you guess the direction right, you have to compensate. The stock has to compensate for the 20 or 30% premium that you paid. So if you heard the whole story about the Rambus, the end part was, I hope it gaps down tomorrow, even though I'm buying this option with one contract, because the fear of missing out overwhelmed me. So I wound up paying up for a contract, and I put a call spread on, risking $6. $6, $6 whole dollars, right, on one contract. So it's $600. And then you fast forward to that night. Holy shit, Rambus is getting annihilated, right? Will there be ever, oh my God, the numbers are terrible. As one person said, are we even going to buy the dip? These earnings were so bad. I'm like, were they? According to who? There are no such thing as bad earnings in a bull market. Doesn't matter. As long as it breaks VWAP tomorrow, you'll get a probably profitable trade on it. And then it does that, again, nobody's awake. And then here some of us were awake at $94. And it got to $97.50, which was a good trade. And then I said, I don't really want to own this thing going into the open. Let's see if we get another chance at it. And then you get the faux show VWAP break on the stock that we're already in. And if you were ever going to dollar cost average, it was right there. And then when I bought it back at 100, quick 2.5 points. And then if you're ever going to trade a stock that reported earnings, how about another fake out, shake out VWAP break for a new entry right around the same price at $100.50. And just coincidentally, it goes exactly to the prior day VWAP, because it's just a coincidence that this trade consistently works every time it shows up for 4 years in a row now. It's just a coincidence, friends. It's just a coincidence that you have where to buy, limited risk, massive reward. These are just coincidences like GNRC. Yeah, it's just a coincidence what's happening here. Faux show bro at VWAP breaks the range, goes through the multi-day VWAP, goes to the high print from the pre-market. That's where the sellers are lurking, and now it just coincidentally pulls back to the orange line. These are just coincidences. The market's not rigged. Whoever would believe the market's rigged? Sure. Yeah, these are all just coincidences. Right. FI, right? Just a coincidence, right? Yeah, LRN. Yeah, these are all just coincidences. Sure. Right. Yeah, all these VWAP trading and follow-throughs, just coincidental. No, FI did the thing. It already did, traded 5 times already. That last one was pretty good, up to 75. I don't know if anybody's still in it. But 75 was the the third target already. And now it's back into that chop mode between 72.50 and 75. But I'm not putting trades on now. I'm probably done for the day unless we start, I was going to say go down. Yeah, as if we're never going down. But if we do, yeah, I might put a trade on. But chances are we're not going down. So we might be just sitting here all day. And now the Qs are above 635. Remember, chances are they're going 637, 50, 640, figure 660, 800 by next Friday. I know that sounds like an exaggeration, but we're putting on, the down days are up 3. So we're averaging 4 points a day. So at this pace, we'll be at 800 by, Christmas. Because I don't care about RSI anymore, or overbought conditions or oversold, because none of it matters. What I've learned from doing this for 30 years is nothing matters except for the price and volume. That's why I only trade VWAP, because it's the only thing that matters. I don't care if something's overbought. Overbought doesn't mean anything anymore. It used to. Doesn't anymore. A lot of things used to mean things, but none of it matters anymore. That's what's so perturbing to me. A lot of stuff that I learned, especially the dash for trash, which we've been in all of 2025. Normally, when you keep running worthless stocks up hundreds of percent, that has been a bearish indicator for the overall market. That don't work. Old school moving averages, pointless. You want to know where institutional money went into the market. The whole market's a rigged game, and they use VWAP as the language of the algorithm. So all you got to do is follow the algorithmic institutional language of love, and you'll be on the right side of every trade for the rest of your days. And just don't short the market like I do, and give back half your life savings every 6 years. I wish that was a fake story, by the way. I told you guys I did some math. I think I'm scraping the $20 million range just from shorting the Qs over the last 30 years. And that includes the one time where I made them, I made about 1.6 million in a couple of months. Oh, I've given that back. And then some. It's just not a good trade, and think about, I don't know if you guys know who Mike Batnick is, or Joe Fahmy. They both said the same thing. Like, why bother shorting where you've got everything against you and you're just trying to make a few ticks to the downside? Why not just stay with the trend? Right? And that doesn't mean you can't play fades of earnings reports. That's what we do for a living. But shorting the market, it's irresponsible. And it doesn't work. Even when the market was officially crashing, we were playing the squeeze rips back up more than the shorts themselves, during the tariff tantrum or whatever the hell that was. Bottom line, I traded 3 stocks today that I didn't know existed the other day, right? That's kind of like how I like it. I don't think I've ever traded FI. Plus, I'm amazed at what I'm looking at here. Like, wow, how bad is this stock, right? I mean, look at this chart. This is something that I would normally own. I'm a great trader. I'm the best. Oh, look at me, bull market, and that market never goes down. Give back 2 years of hard work to 10-year lows. Looks like it's a Glick special right there. I mean, look how terrible of a stock and company this must be right now to be doing this in a bull market. That is nasty. But now I'm going to be watching this thing for the next couple of weeks because at that 10-year lows, 10-year lows. Well, stock, do you ever find a 10-year low? So I got to see the next couple of days what this thing does. LRN, I still don't even know what this one is. Here, here's another example. ENPH. Fake them out, shake them out. VWAP break, $32. $32 gotcha. What? Gotcha 32.50, right? But if you didn't sell and put a stop on, you gave it all back. But no normal person would let you do that. And that's why VWAP, when I tell you it saves you, you know, instead of being disappointed, because we all go through that stage, you buy something, you sell some. Oh, it's going down. I wish I would have sold it up here. And then you don't sell any more of it. You're like, oh, I wish I would have sold it up here. And then you hold it and you wait. The patience that we have when we have a stock that we're waiting for it to come back. If you had that patience on every trade, you'd be awesome. But it's amazing how patient you are when you're losing money on something, hoping it comes back. There is no hope in trading, right? There's what is happening and what you're going to do about it, right? So instead of saying, oh, I should have sold it all up here, nobody's that good. You got a good entry. You sold some. Okay, it would have been great if you did sell it all up there, but you didn't, and now it's rolling over and breaking down. Sell it. Don't debate with VWAP. Breaks it, you're done. Right? Like FI right now. Players that are in from earlier can withstand some of this. I keep buying the 72.50, I made $1. Then I bought the 73.50, I made $1. But for me, I have to sell it because I keep getting in late. So for me, I'm not letting it go back. But look what it just did. It just faux showed, right? So let's assume you were waiting for a reason to buy it. Breaks the VWAP, comes back, and then these little moves, they're trying to shake people out. But if you were in from earlier, you're still using that pivot, and all of this doesn't even mean anything to you. It means something for someone who just got in. Or if you were just looking for a reason to get in, there's a new reason just now. While we're sitting here, there it is. Fake them out, shake them out. And then it comes back to test the shakeout area. Or sorry, the fake out area. Shakeout's the last spot. And in this little tiny moment here, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minutes, that's a day's pay. Just sticking with the dumb stock. Same symbol, same trade. Right? And I probably should have bought it back, as a matter of fact. But, you know, little faux show bro got paid. Little faux show bro got paid. Each time, my last lot, I've been stopped out. Normally, the last lot's the one where you rip. This stock keeps getting me out, but I'm selling from a place of strength, getting stopped out either flat or less profit. I haven't lost on any of them. And now I'm out, and I should have bought it back again for my 6th attempt. But if you're still long, you know, some people, if you bought those 70s here, you still might be in it. You bought 71 and change, or, you know, 69.50, and you've been using that stop. You're still in, and none of this means anything to you. And now, hopefully, you get the follow through. It's the same trade. The symbols change, but the trade always remains the same. And there's a song about that too, by Led Zeppelin. No, I have to buy more silver. It's my birthday too, so if anybody wants to buy me some presents, I take Reposado tequilas and silver coins. Yeah. If anybody can buy me, if anybody wants to buy me a present, anything with Joe Namath on it too, because I'm going to perform a voodoo ritual soon. I'm going to burn all my Joe Namath memorabilia in a bonfire to try to save the Jets franchise. I think it's Joe Namath that actually has to be gone. I think that really is the case. If you guys are any Jet fans out there, it really does make a lot of sense that Joe Namath sold his soul and the franchise's soul to win that Super Bowl, because they basically have sucked ever since. But there's a silver coin out there, Joe Namath silver coin. It's a hard coin to find. I only have 2 of them. I want a few more. Let's put out. Oh, somebody's got one. There he is. I only got 2. I want 3 more. Oh, best offer. All right, I'll offer him $50 for it. I don't really want to pay more than 50. And ironically, the QQQ short is starting to work, but you really can't take it serious, right? Nobody takes shorting the Q serious, especially with UVXY at the lows of the day. So you know this is just a fart. I mean, it's reality that it is working. You got tested VWAP from underneath, and got rejected. So the demented person who still thinks shorting the Qs can work, yeah, here's your $1. You better cover some, right? And I'm rooting for you. I want to see it happen just to prove that this anomaly print was something, because we do have the anomaly print, and it is below prior day VWAP. So right now we are testing the lows of the pre-market. So this is actually mildly exciting. If you are short, I'm rooting for you. I hope it drops the extra $1.50 for you, and you could say you were the one person to ever make money shorting the Qs. I'm 54. Yeah. You want to hear a crazy story about Yacht Rock? So I'm in a Grateful Dead meetup group, which is the greatest group of people you'll ever be in contact with. If anybody likes the Grateful Dead, it's called Wall Street Dead Ahead. And if you'd like to join, just let me know. We're the biggest Grateful Dead financial networking group in the world. And it's really awesome because you just never know who you're going to meet at our parties, because we're all in the industry. We all love the music. I met a guy that runs an $8 billion hedge fund the other day, and hopefully we're going to do some business together. Normally you wouldn't be able to get an audience with this guy, but over some reposado, and we have bands that, if you guys know music, if you guys know Little Feat, Scott Sherrard, he's he's part of our group. He shows up and starts ripping. And we have a concert of guys that would be normally at Madison Square Garden just playing in our office. And it's awesome. They play for like 3 hours. We get just good times. And it's a great networking group, a lot of charities, awesome music, a lot of good people. And there's always somebody there that probably you want to meet to help. And then you just pass it forward, And then you get to meet little Steven last week. We did a conference call with Tom. He's in a charity called Teach Rock. They use rock and roll to teach history and science and all kinds of cool stuff. By the way, you see how the Qs pivoted off that red line? Why did that happen? Because when stocks go to certain prices where something happened once before, things tend to happen again. So that's why when you join my class, by the way, November 22nd, be there. November 22nd, I'm going to go over not just the faux show bros and the finger of gods and how to find stocks, but where to draw your own pivot points. Lows and highs, how to adjust your stops, how to stay in the trade. And if you don't have multiple time frame VWAP, I'll walk you through how to install it on your chart. So November 22nd, it's a Saturday, so we can have a nice casual conversation without me trying to find trades and having to be distracted. And if you're in the FI, come on! I won't join it. I won't join you this time, so this time it should go. I'll stay out of it. Let's see if I could. I'll use Mind Blitz for you. Come on, baby. That's telekinesis, Holmes. Wait a minute. Were you there with us? How do you know about that? Yeah. You know Antonio? Antonio, now that guy's a metalhead. Oh my God. He's hilarious. Yes. Yes. Oh, he loves. We were going down a rabbit hole of terrible metal bands that we listened to, like Venom and Wasp, Metal Church. He used to, not only was he the Grateful Dead artist who did the backstage passes, who's now featured at the Sphere. He got his artwork on the Sphere. He used to do, obviously denim jackets in the metal denim jackets back in the 80s, but he would also do cars. He did this awesome artwork for Black Camaro, just crazy Eddie piece. If you guys know Maiden. Wasp. Man, you really got to know your 80s metal when you're going down. You're getting into Wasp and Venom. Yeah. So cheesy, but so awesome. Wasp, the wannabe Molly Crew, and Metal Church. I Want to Be Somebody by Wasp. Come on. It sounds like every other band. It sounds exactly like Quiet Riot, which sounded like Dokken, which sounded like Slade. Now you're going down the rabbit hole. Speaking of that rabbit hole, you know what I was listening to the other day? Twisted Sister. So good. And of course, this one. Oh yeah, 80s cassettes. Yeah, that was when we used to you'd order 18 cassettes from Columbia, and they'd ask you for all this money, and you'd say, I don't know what. Your mom would say, well, what's this bill for? Just throw it out. I still have all that stuff. I remember one of my favorite cassettes, man. I wore that bad boy out. This one. You guys like metal? Come on. Right after doo-wop and the oldies, I got into metal quite some time. You know the lyrics. A ship without a storm, home without a war, light inside the darkness, let it be, yeah. We're alive without a tear, hope This guy played with Metallica back in the day. Metallica opened up for this guy. That's Ronnie James Dio, baby. Also, lead singer from Black Sabbath. I knew you knew that. Took over for Ozzy. FI New Highs. There you go. See? Trading's boring. You just got to put some Metallica on. Oh, man. Sanitarium. Love it. When Master of Puppets came out, that was when I was in full metal mode. Yeah, Black Sabbath, one of the best albums ever made. Well, not Paranoid, but my favorite Sabbath album was Sabotage with Symptoms of the Universe. You guys know your metal. I'd go all day, baby. By the way, FFI sold to you. Finally, there you go, 75.50. As the market's coming in, Nvidia's giving up its gains. That's why the Qs are going down. Hello. Let's put some Metallica on. My God, it's only 11:48. This has been the slowest day of the year. But you know what? It just got a lot better if you still own FI. Now, I hope it doesn't waste your time for sitting here with this thing for the last hour. I hope you get the rest of this move. That just the 2 extra points. You deserve it. You deserve it if you stayed in this one this long. And there you go. Hope you get the extra 2. I'm staying out of this one. I missed that last faux show, bro. But you see how it's the same trade? It's the same stock. I traded the stock 5 individual times. And the 6th one, I should have joined in this one too. You know, why not? You buy yourself 400 shares at 73 and you're risking 80 cents and you make yourself $3 or $4. That's a $1,200 trade right here. You don't got to be a hero. It's not always about, again, these are the trades that you have to take. So you'll have $300 to throw on a clove idea at a 2-cent option and bang them out and make $3,000 tomorrow or Friday. You know what I'm saying? High quality trades pay for the lottos. Now we sing. Sing with me. You know the lyrics. Welcome to the abandoned land. Come on in, child, take my hand. Don't say anything positive about Rambus. Shh. Stay negative. Keeps going up. As you go down, down, down. You're gonna burn in hell. I'll burn in hell. You can't believe all the things I've done wrong in my life. Without even trying, I've lived all the edge of my mind. Well, I try with fire, I don't want to get myself burned. So I don't self be true. So I think now it's time for a turn. If I'm burning hell. What are you listening there, you crazy kids? You guys have denim jackets? I still have all my pins too from my metal jackets. Some of them are worth some good money. I got the original pins from like 70s and 80s. There you go. Yeah. Speaking of that, exactly. It's the I don't know if you know this group, but they used to love when you would say they sucked. That was their mantra. You might know what I'm talking about if you know this. Too deep. This one you might know. Somebody just knows it. There you go. I've seen them about 38 times. I used to open up for every band I would go to. Oh my God, Primus is opening up. My name is Mud. Here, you want to see how? Here's how the matrix works. Look, that stock that just went by, Venom. See that? We're living in the matrix. Yeah, I mentioned Venom, and then it hits new highs. VNOM. Weird. Viper. Oh, look, it's still Viper. Yeah, I think we're going to be sitting here doing this for the next 2 hours. But hey, listen, at least FI paid us again, right? If you got paid again. This market's just coiling up for like a 38-point candle, probably. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Qs at 700 by the end of the day in this market, right? Every pullback is met with an equal and greater move tenfold. So now that it's taken like an hour to pull back $1, once we rip, we'll probably go up 10 points. So for what, 645? How much are the 645 calls right now? Wow, the 645s are not even a lotto play. They're above 20 cents. They're above a quarter. The nearest lotto officially is the 648s or 12 cents. That's insanity, Hannity. Man. Yeah, that's that 10 points out of the money. That's a little bit jacked. I mean, it's because of the Fed meeting. Lemonade, that cool, refreshing drink. Is it LMND? Ooh, I haven't seen. Oh my God! I hope you bought it today. Did I miss another earnings reversal? By the way, that's a 1 minute. That's a faux show, bro. 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal. So congratulations, you just lived through one. Well, usually after this, whatever this is, again, doesn't matter what stock it is. You see this, that's super, super, super bullish. It's kind of like a tattoo. I think I'm just going to get this tattooed to my chest. That's it. That's a faux show, bro. 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal. Phenomenal. And let's see if you own it. Here's your 1 year. Oh, you're about to break a 1 year. That's a phenomenal consolidation break above 62. I was about to say I'll buy the stock, but you should pay me not to buy it. Oh yeah. Yeah, you definitely want to own this. I mean, wow. I actually came out of an Andy Dufresne pattern. Wow. Wasn't this like a $300 stock? Wow. That looks awesome. Just broke the lifetime VWAP. That's the lifetime VWAP of the stock. Wow. Yes. Super bullish, man. Congratulations. Yes. Yes. You should be looking for 80 bucks on this. Yeah. That is awesome. Actually, there's nothing negative I could say about it. So it'll probably tank tomorrow. Oh, they report earnings? Okay. So there's your that's your decider. I am not holding stocks into earnings reports. All right. So again, full disclosure, I will be out of SRAD before November 5th. I don't want to ruin my birthday now. Well, birthday week. I got Clove reporting, SRAD's reporting, and well, VICR has already reported. And the only thing else I own is VWAV. And I don't even know when they report. I haven't checked. Oh, Billy. Oh, I like Billy. That stock I used to trade this a lot. Billy. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing bearish about most stocks right now. But more importantly, FI, new highs. Come on, baby. Every penny counts. This looks pretty awesome too. That's a massive faux show, bro, above its yearly VWAP right there. Let's see where else I could look at. How about 2 years? Looks like it's a 2-year high. That's super bullish. How about 5 years? Oh, Billy. Jude, you know what? That is a 5-year Andy Dufresne right there. Wow. That is, and all those red lines were when I used to trade this stock. So I used to be very active on it. Don't sell it. I mean, are they reporting soon also? Because you got, this is a 5-year VWAP. You got a Kardashian bottom right there. Plus it's really not as Andy Dufresne. The best part that was down here when it really came out of that downtrend. But this is a monster. Wow. Those are two good looking charts, man. 10 years. How about 10 years on a weekly? How long has this stock been out here? Holy freaking shit. What does this company do? Not that it matters, but you're looking at a stock that's about to go up another 20 points. That's pretty damn good looking right there. There's the original Andy Dufresne when we were buying it down here at 16 bucks, and then it went back into the muck. And if you're an FI, let's go, people. We only got $1 to go. You waited this long. Hopefully you're getting paid. See? I didn't join you on the last one, so this will be the best one of the day. But congratulations, man. See, when you trade with us, patience is price. Price is patience. Patience is price. Finkel and Einhorn. Einhorn and Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. Patience is price. Price is patience. So if you're just trading price, that instills the patience in you. Because if it doesn't break this price, then you don't do anything. So now you're kind of in limbo because you just pivoted, right? So now that pivot is a new stop, and you're waiting to see if you finally get the full Monty up to that 77.29. And if it breaks the 77.29, then we're talking about where I was originally trading in the pre-market, up here at 85 maybe. You don't want to get too crazy, but it's taken so long to get to the orange line. That usually is if it gets there and takes this long to get there, usually that is the top, like the Rambus yesterday. But phenomenal. It's not a bad trade. Ticker for what? What we're looking at right here? FI or what? Oh, VWAV is the 18th. All right, thanks, man. Selling the shares? What are you selling? Which shares are you referring to? By the way, when you get VIP, you get to text me personally. It costs extra. Which ticker you want to look at? Oh, you know what I'm looking at right now? We got ourselves a reversal on USAR about to happen. Didn't really work out too well yesterday because this stock, I mean, obviously, we've had our way with this bad boy. I mean, we crushed this thing, sold it near highs, even started shorting it before it rolled over. You never have to ask me twice. Dump it. Dump it all. Normally, I'm not putting on trades right now, but this thing just went into the green. I'm in no rush to put some trades on. I waited. If I was doing something else, I would have done the F5 for the 6th time. Mind Med. Love it. I do actually, Mind Med. I like all the mushroom stocks. Estate planning is over my pay grade, but yeah. Keep it in the estate. Avoid the taxes. Hey, listen, the Qs are going to be flirting with the possible green reversal because the entire market was being held up by NVIDIA, and they're both giving it up right now. As a matter of fact, AMD is about to roll over and go red. That's a full-blown reversal. Normally, I would have been short this thing already. I'm just so burnt on shorting. It's just, unless it's an earnings report, but this is a 1-minute multi-day VWAP reversal happening right here on AMD. And NVIDIA, I'm assuming, looks exactly the same. Yeah. So if you're wondering why the Qs are pulling back, it's NVIDIA. You pulled back 7 points. That's about 2.5 QQQ points. This is the after Apple. I believe NVIDIA is the most heavily weighted in the Qs. Might be the most heavily weighted. I'm not even sure anymore. But this 5-point pullback is why the Qs are going down right now. Holy cow. We're getting a full-blown reversal. This is actually a blow-off top in the making. I'm not going to get excited because UVXY is not even green. But if UVXY starts ripping, the sell-off's going to get a little more intense. But all this is, people are getting flat ahead of the Fed. That's it. UVXY is over 1050, the sell-off's going to be really crazy. UVXY under 950, bull market still on. Expect to go to the highs of the day and then continue on for the next 2.5 months. It really does. This is a big day we can legitimately pivot and have a downturn. I wouldn't get excited about it, but we're in the middle of it right now. There's no denying what we're watching here. AMD and NVIDIA and the chip stocks were the strongest ones, and they're giving it up right now. And so the Qs are pulling back a couple of points. I have Sex Panther. It's made with an 8th Panther. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but Steel Panther, the musical group, you mean? Do you know Sex Panther? You should know Sex Panther. It's made with an 8th Panther. It's pungent. But was Steel Panther a real group? They were kind of like, weren't they like a? What was that terrible movie with the metal guys? Wow. Come on, everybody knows that movie. Steel Panther? Don't they do Glory Hole? Now we're into it. Spinal Tap. There you go. Thank you. Oh my God, Airheads. How do you even know that movie exists? I was in the audience. When I worked in the record industry, we produced the album. So I got to go to the premiere party and hang out with Steve Buscemi. Me and Steve Buscemi were eating shrimp together. Yes. They had this huge, massive table of like peel and eat shrimp. And me and Steve Buscemi are going off. And I was asking, what do you think they do with all these extra shrimp at the end of the night? I don't know, but we better get our fill. It's my run-in with Steve Buscemi. We were eating peel and eat shrimp at the Airheads premiere party. I've lived many lives. Yeah, I used to work in the record industry for about a year at Arista Records. It was fun. Shady. A lot of shady, two-faced people, man. But Clive Davis, he was awesome. I got to hang with Clive a couple of times. And I got called into a meeting. And they said, come here, you're white. I'm like, I am. What can I do for you? Here, sit here. Tell us what you think of this video. And then they put on this. Come on. Sicker than your average. I'll twist cabbage off big stink. Niggas don't think shit stink. Big gators. My Detroit players. Tim's for my hooligans in Brooklyn. Dead right. If the head right, Biggie there. Every night. Papa been school since days of under rules. Never lose. Never choose to. Bruce Cruz who do something to us. Talk go through us. Girls want to us. Wanna do us. Screw us. Who us? Yeah, Papa and Papa. Close like Starsky and Hutch. Stick to clutch. Yeah, I squeeze free at your cherry M3. Bang every MC easily. Recently, niggas frontin' ain't saying nothing, so I just keep my peace. Keep my peace. Cubans with the Jesus peace. With my peace. Asking who want it. You got a nigga flaunt it. That Brooklyn bullshit, we on it. Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. Little did I know at the time that Puffy was standing right there. I didn't really know who he was, really. Because at one point, Arista Records owned Bad Boy, or was it Big Boy or Bad Boy? I got called into a video booth. They threw this video on. I was like, sounds pretty awesome to me. That's a cool video. All right, leave. And then I heard that Jerry Garcia was in the building, and I'm running around like a freaking lunatic trying to find him. And I couldn't find him. But my boss got him to sign a dollar bill, and I have Jerry Garcia's autograph on a dollar bill. So, and then Dave Gilmour was in the house. I did get to meet him, which was awesome. Dave Gilmour from
Come on, down. I ain't feeling down. I can ease your pain, get you on your feet again. Relax. I need some information first. Just the basic facts. Can you show me where it hurts? There is no pain you always see.
All right, we're gonna get banned. We're gonna big size on the offer, ladies, gentlemen. Big size on the offer. Let me show you on the FI. This big size on the offer. Usually, when there's one guy that's bigger than the rest, it's usually a buyer. You see him flashing some size at 74. Normally, the big size on the offer nowadays is a buyer. It's usually better when there's some real momentum on a name and they start flashing some size on the offer, trying to pretend that's going to have a hard time getting through there. Quite often, it's just a spoof trade, usually on these like small cap stocks, but it works quite often, especially if you only see ones and twos. And if you don't know what these numbers represent, these are just the market makers are required to show size of the amount of stock they're willing to sell you. So 100 share lots, 1,100 shares. So when it's just ones and twos, there's not many people that are making a stand. I mean, this market maker and tape reading kind of thing used to work a lot better back in the day when there was real market makers. Now it's all ECNs and algos, hidden agendas and tripwires and circuit breakers and all kinds of shit. But used to be where a big bidder showed up, he meant it. I'm bidding. Like Sir Larry coming in at 19 on Blue Star Airlines, buy it lightly on the way down. When it hit 19, buy it all. And then you see them in the pit. I got some stock to buy. All right, what are you talking about? I got 300,000 at 19. Sold! Right? He put his bid in and he meant it. Now, a lot of big bids and offers are a bunch of bullshit. The trade's already done. They're just showing it on the tape to kind of like pick up some loose ends, and then they print the guy, and then the stock goes that direction. By the way, speaking of the other one that we traded, I really haven't traded too much today. I mean, it feels like it was like 30 hours ago we traded this stock long, and ever since, look, it's just been awful. But VWAP told us to get out, and hasn't recovered since. Yeah, I'll show you something, and then I'm gonna go. I don't even know if I'm staying or going. I don't know what's going on, but I'm definitely not going to sit here for 2 hours staring into space. You know, obviously the activity will come. We'll pick up. But if you really stay patient enough with this FI, I mean, it was basically 6 individual paydays on this one name. Pretty cool. Here's one of my prized possessions. It was the Division Bell Tour. To Kenny. Cheers, Dave Gilmore. All right. Well, when all else fails, let's just buy open, right? Did I tell you there's a faux show bro on this stock almost every day? Sometimes 2 or 3 of them. By the way, this is really one of my favorite stocks to trade. Moving every day. If this ever does break out, It really could go to 30 or 40 bucks, like these crazy people on Twitter are saying. All right. On that note, I did like those names you showed me. The Lemonade, that's an interesting looking chart, and Billy, right? Not bad. Again, going into earnings reports could change everything. And full disclosure, I don't plan to own anything going into reports. So within the next couple of days, at least by November 4th, I will be out of stocks completely. And all I got left is V-Wave, SRAD, Clove, VICR. The only thing I'm not going to get out of is my naked UVXY calls. I mean, they're going to expire worthless anyway. All right. So if you haven't been to a schmooze, this would be a good one to stop by. Just email me. I'll send you the username and a link. If you've been enjoying this commentary and you want to just join the website, you join today, you're actually going to get a free class out of it because I'm going to be generous. Normally, we don't give it to the monthly people, you peasants, but everybody gets to play. November 22nd, Saturday, 12 p.m. Be there. No RSVP needed. That's from Wall Street also. All right. All right. It's all right. It's all right. I'll see you guys in about an hour. What do we got? When does it come out? I'll be back at 1:50. See what's up. All right. It's 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 all right. You're all right. I'll see you guys tonight, tomorrow, the next day, schmooze, all that stuff. All right. Actually, wait, I am coming back. If you guys watch I'll be back at 3:30 for an hour to talk about some earnings. So yeah, I'll definitely be coming back. So watch for the stuff on YouTube. I'll come back with stock market media. All right. Later.